I'm here in Maximum City, where we say Mumbai's winters are upon us. Winter is coming because temperatures are slowly falling, and this is about as cold as it gets in this coastal city. But because we have the coast and the sea, and of course geography on our side, AQI levels don't necessarily go above a certain level. I mean, it's not like it's the best, but right now, as we're shooting over here, it's around 92 in terms of AQI. But what is AQI? And it's a very different story in the north of India. Over here in Mumbai, a couple of weeks ago, it was 47, 48, which is actually fairly decent in terms of AQI. Right now, we come under satisfactory by any neutral, dispassionate, analysis of the air pollution levels in the city. Delhi has crossed 400, 500, and some independent reports say even all the way up to 600 and 700. This happens every year. But what is it that you can do to prevent some of the harm that this is causing to you and your families? What are some of the tech tips and tricks, some certain measures and hacks that you can use? And more importantly, what's the real situation like in Delhi? Here's a Tech360 special report.
Of the three main basic elements that we need to live, air, water and earth, it is such a dichotomy that if you actually get to see air, it is usually a bad thing. Hello and welcome from this very special feature on Tech360 from New Delhi, capital city New Delhi, where if you notice, because you can see air, you can't see what's behind me. How do you find the air around here?
Yeah, it's very foggy, yeah. I found it when I was first came to the airport, it's very foggy.
Grey and oppressive and dark and just smoggy.
It's very tough for kids because they play in this pollution and there's a lot of cough and cold for the kids this time.
Currently you can see my eyes pink, and like today morning my brother's eyes was also pink, like both eyes were pink due to pollution.
And old age, yes. This is my father-in-law, he coughs a lot इस मौसम में.
सांस लेने में मुश्किल हो रहा है, सांस लेने में.
Asthmatic patients, उनको तो बहुत ही problem है.
Breathing issues for sure.
It's a great city, but it's just feels
The hard truth.
yeah. It's a shame because it's like, you know, the sights would be so much better without the sort of cloud around it.
We are not able to see a blue sky, so obviously we can find out there is a pollution in the air, which is obviously alarming for everybody.
Look, it was a bit of a shock to come here and to not be able to breathe. We couldn't see the ground when we were flying in, and I was like, wow, is that the air or is it smoke or what's happening?
And obviously you can hear that all the media says that the AQI is very bad.
When I see on my app and it's 400 AQI or something, I don't understand why this is so high.
That is a really nice question. Now, what is AQI? What does it really mean? What does it show? To answer all of that, I actually have one of the world's smartest AQI monitors in Mumbai right now. Ayush Elavadi, tech and AI editor for the NDTV network. Also, Ayush, before you answer all of that, can you just make us here in Delhi jealous and tell us what is the AQI in Mumbai right now where you are?
Well, I don't know about smart, but the AQI here in Mumbai is significantly lower. Nothing to write home about, but at 90 to 95 AQI, a couple of weeks ago, we were at 50 to 60 AQI. But what is AQI is the real question. AQI is the standard with which we measure air quality. That's why it's called Air Quality Index, or AQI. So it tells you how clean or how polluted the air around us is, the air that we're breathing every day. We're supposed to take actions based on these numbers. And even government and health agencies use these readings to take due course of action or trigger public warnings or issue some sort of guidance. At strategically planned key areas of our cities, authorities place monitors, AQI monitors, that keep tracking the air around for minute particulate pollutants like fine particulate matter. That's the PM 2.5 that you keep hearing about. Coarse particulate matter, which is PM 10. They also measure ground level ozone, nitrogen dioxide, sulfur dioxide, SO2, and carbon dioxide. To make it simple for everybody to understand, these sensors keep tracking these pollutants for set time periods. For instance, particles are calculated on a 24-hour average, and so each pollutant's data is converted into a score using scientific methods and calculations, and these measurements are then used to calculate the AQI of a particular spot.
Now this does bring up an interesting observation as well. While collectively we as a society are responsible for bringing these levels so dangerously high, but why is it that controlling it has sort of become my own personal problem? Like I am supposed to take steps of precaution at an individual one-on-one level.
Definitely I have to take precautions of my health. The oxygen level of this in Delhi is very worst. So better to move out from the Delhi and go to somewhere place where the oxygen level and the atmosphere where I can live better.
Talking frankly, we try to use less of a car. We try to use a public transport.
Staying home is one thing, and companies should force work from home.
Air purifier can be a solution which works on homes only.
We are using purifiers at home, especially for elders.
Now my family is also recommending me to buy one.
But speaking of air purifiers, it's not like that. It doesn't work like that. So you can't just ask your best friend which one did you buy and then you buy the same one. That's not how it works. To a particular use case like you, there's actually a science and logic behind it. And for that, again, to simplify that entire process, I would have to refer to the in-house expert, Ayush.
There are a couple of steps involved which you have to follow when you start choosing to buy an air purifier. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. Let me put it this way. You know how you cannot effectively cool a large room with a small air conditioner? That's a point to be noted. You must not expect a small purifier to be efficient in purifying a large room or a house or an apartment or a flat, whatever you call it nowadays. In fact, open rooms with windows, open areas can keep pulling more pollutants, thereby making the room even harder to purify, almost impossible, like how you instinctively close the door after you switch the AC on. Same logic. So first, calculate the size of the room or the area that you need purified and then match that area with the CADR number of these prospective purifiers that you're looking at. You can find these clean air delivery rate or CADR numbers mentioned on some of these purifiers. In fact, aim for a higher number which will help account for air changes and other factors like pets, pollen, etc. In fact, if you're near a source of pollution, say industry, already start aiming for a higher CADR. Coming to the type of sensor to choose, a term you will come across a lot generally is HEPA, H-E-P-A. Relax, I'm going to explain it to you. This is the standard that helps capture PM 2.5 type pollutants. Just be very careful to pick true HEPA filters, H13 grade or above, and not anything that is HEPA style or HEPA-like, HEPA-esque or anything. True HEPA. Some purifiers will also come with activated carbon filters, and these will help capture VOCs and other odors. Do remember, these should ideally be placed in such an area of the room from where they can pull air from all around. So, rule of thumb that I follow is not right next to the wall or furniture. Leave a little bit of space. You'll also need to clean the pre-filters periodically, say every 2 or 3 weeks ideally in Delhi, maybe even sooner. And depending on how heavy your usage is, HEPA filters need to be replaced as well. Mine takes nearly a year. Some really top purifiers take even more than that. With moderate usage, they last at least one season. In Delhi, like I said, you'll need to do it more often. Now, when it comes to air purifiers, there's a bunch of brands available in the market. In India, this is becoming an industry, unfortunately, which is growing. It's booming. There are more expensive options from Dyson, premium, high on tech. But if you want more inexpensive options, which we'll be covering through the course of the next few weeks, because this is a problem where we're trying to find solutions on Tech360. There's a value for money option from Xiaomi. That's one that I use personally as well, which is maybe half the price of a Dyson or even lesser. Then you have options from Philips, Eureka Forbes, a bunch of other companies as well. The Dyson comes with a bunch of other features like hot and cool, also cools the room a little bit, better oscillation, better UI. So it really depends on what your budget is and what your use case is. But an air purifier, in a nutshell, is needed given the alarming rates and, well, AQI figures here in India.
I have a follow-up question to that. Listen, what about Sharad Nair at NDTV.com? What about Amardeep behind the camera? What about, these thousands of people who are outside? When we're outside, we can't be carrying air purifiers with us. So are there any alternatives for people like us who are outside?
Tech360 solution list is always long. We're just experimenting with you as well. A lot of wearable tech solutions come up all the time. Remember the Dyson Zone? I honestly was a fan, didn't really work out. There are players like Prana Air, Atovio, Oxy Halo, and more making personable, portable air purifiers. I don't know how much they work. LG has a Purifier mask, which had become viral on social media. It has a filter right inside the mask. The idea is to create a localized clean zone around your nose. On a theory level, idea level, they all sound good. But honestly, I'm not quite sure how much these particularly work. Tech has surely been trying to help. Most modern cars now come with air filtration mechanisms built into the air conditioning system, which is a big relief, especially when you're stuck in a traffic jam. I know cars like the Kia Sonet and Hyundai Venue have some of these options, but at the higher end, very effective versions, and two that I've seen are in the Range Rovers. With Pivi Pro, you have this whole what the AQI is like and a very effective solution to bring it down, all sorts of pollutants, and also on higher end Mercedes cars. Well, we hope that these are democratized and come with other cars as well, but basically what you're trying to do is minimize your time out exposed to pollutants. So when you're in the car, when you're at home or an office, that's the only way you can stay away from this. And then, of course, there are solutions where you leave the city and go to places with greenery around you and a lot more oxygen, a lot less carbon dioxide. But basically, if you're outdoors, especially in the Delhi NCR region, always have a mask handy. Wear one outside, minimum N95. The higher, the better. If you get one with a layer of activated carbon, even better for you. If you keep changing one after prolonged usage, even better. If you try and restrict your movement outside on days that are tagged as severe, all the apps are telling you this, that is also better for you. If we collectively start taking active steps to cultivate more green areas in our cities and actively work on reducing air pollution, that would be ideal. And if none of this works, like I said, well, you gotta book your tickets or rent a car and head on a long drive into the mountains or near the beaches where a lot of these levels are a lot better. But our practices should be better as well. So we shouldn't be polluting as much. Our civic sense needs to be right up top. And let's use technology to make our lives a whole lot simpler and a lot less polluted.